Thanks for doing this interview. It's great to see you. And actually, this is my third year coming up here, and I really appreciate you guys doing the show because I've chosen to come up here versus going to a show down in Des Moines, and it's been more beneficial to my soul.
Well, glad to hear that.
So introduce yourself for me and just tell me a little bit about you here.
Me here? Okay, my name is Lori Brahma.
Pleased to meet you, Lori.
And I'm the secretary for this show, which means I'm the appointed paperwork geek.
All right.
I get all of the entries. I get them entered into our computer program. I make sure our judges' books are all ready to go. And I've always kind of liked that end of things, so I have a good time, as well as showing my own dogs too here at the show.
It's funny because I walked up and watched you positively answer a ton of questions, and that's a skill or an art. It truly is, because you're multitasking the whole time that you're here, and you're really extremely good at it. And people walk away with a wonderful experience of asking you what they need. You tell them really quick in a positive way, and then you're back to doing what you're doing.
And then back to doing. Yes, I can jump from one thing to the other very quickly. I think that's a prerequisite to being a show secretary.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd have to be in a corner by yourself.
So how did you get involved with just being involved with the club?
It started years ago. I had a little corgi at that time, and this club did primarily agility, high energy dog. I got involved that way, just bringing it to agility practices, teaching it agility.
Sure.
And from then on.
So how long have you been training and working dogs?
Over 40 years.
Wow, wonderful.
I've always had dogs, and we raise primarily Springer Spaniels now.
Okay. So all in all, this is not your mainstream of what you do. So what do you do when you're not chasing dog rears?
Well, I am retired from active working life.
What did you do before you retired?
I was like a manager of a large church. I did their administration.
So i.e. why you're good at the paperwork.
Yeah, all the paperwork and all the financials and that type of thing for the church. And I retired because I decided when I died, I didn't want to regret spending time with my grandkids and my dogs.
So you have grandkids. How many grandkids do you have?
7.
7?
Yes.
All ages?
From 6 all the way up to 22.
Wow. So that's got to be a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. Yes, it is.
So what's a fun activity, or why should a person come into the dog world as far as the competition side? I mean, because there's rally, there's obedience, there's confirmation. Why should somebody do that?
For me personally, it was just the joy of spending time with my dog, seeing them learn something new, succeed at something new. I have such good friends in the dog world, and whether I fail or do really well, we have a good laugh over it. I have stories that just make me laugh so hard, things my dogs have done. I had one dog, we were in a rally competition, which for those that don't know what rally is, you're following a course set by the judge. And luckily it was a fun match, so it wasn't an expensive entry. I come to a sign, it's a simple halt sit. I halt. My dog looks, jumps out of the ring, over the gates, eats treats off the ringside steward's table, jumps back in the ring and sits by my side. I just looked at the judge. She was crying. She was laughing so hard.
That's so funny.
And and this was a dog that I took to the fun match to prep because we were going in for her excellent rally title.
Oh my.
Yeah, so she knew better, but she sat down as if she had done anything. And the judge knew why I was there, and she told me, well, you've NQ'd, but go ahead and finish the course.
That reminds me, I was down in Florida running a client's dog through a rally course, and we step up to the line, and the dog goes through the course reading the signs, and she's nailing them all down. She's halfway through, and then she comes back over and sits down next to me. And the judge says, are you ready? And I'm like, yes. And we went through the course. I figured we had NQ'd already, but she had never asked the question.
Oh, you're lucky there. I was just thankful this one was a fun match. But, I'm also, for our county here, we're in Beltrami County, Minnesota, I'm the 4-H dog project leader.
Nice.
And I'm a 4-H dog senior judge, and I judge all over the state. And it's so nice to be able to tell kids stories of my funny failures. I call because these kids sometimes will be in tears when their dogs their dogs are dogs in the ring.
Their dogs. I've said to many of my students, a dog's first and a human never. They don't know that you spent any money. They don't know mom and dad have paid for a hotel. They saw that squirrel or that bird, and they're like, "Hey, we usually hunt this time of the year. Let me go."
Exactly. So those experiences to me, that's dog showing in the dog world to me is the friendships, the camaraderie with my dogs. Yeah. And they just love it. They love to work with me because we have so much fun, and I give them cheese.
The cheese.
Cheese is good.
I wish that worked on mine. I have a dog that does not bait.
Oh.
And he doesn't play with toys.
Well, praise.
If you say good boy in any way, form, or fashion, you're pulling him out of the rafters. So you can't make eye contact. You can't say anything in a high voice. You are just hoping
hoping that
you can get it out of it. So you mentioned the camaraderie, and you mentioned the friends that you made over the years that you've been participating in clubs. Is that the number one drive, do you think, is the camaraderie?
For me, it is.
Yeah.
For me, it is. It's like another family.
Yeah.
And I'm very social. If I take any of those personality tests, I end up so far on the extroverted end. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I love it. I love being at the dog show. I love talking to the people. And I have to honestly say one of my greatest joys in cheering my friends along is I love to see people succeed.
Yes, that smile, that glow.
And it's another thing you talk about, the paperwork geek. In all my life and all my work, if someone can describe to me a project, an idea, somewhere they want to get with a dog or with a project, I love coming up with a plan.
Yeah.
And then when I see them succeed, I feel like I've succeeded.
Yep.
I just love it.
It's kind of fun because I have a protege that I've worked really, really hard with. And to watch him do back-to-back best in shows.
Oh, that's got to feel good.
It's and to watch the smile on his face because of where he started at, not even being able to tie a tie, to wearing suits at shows and just giving it his all and watching the two come together. It's just beautiful. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So when you look at the youth that you work with, how do we get more youth kids into the dog show world and the benefit of kids being in the show world?
Kids today, and I know this through working through 4-H, they're so busy and they're so committed. And a lot of it is just, we have found when we bring some of the kids to our 4-H group and show them what other kids are doing in the rest of the dog show world, then they make room in their schedule for it.
Sure.
And it's hard, and you just have to be encouraging. I think 4-H is a great place to bring kids into if you have 4-H in your area. We have 32 kids in our 4-H dog program this year.
Nice.
It is. Luckily, we have 4 trainers, so we can divide and conquer.
Have you noticed that the kids that come in, it calms their spirits down?
It does.
It makes them more proficient in school. It makes them more proficient in a lot of things, working dogs.
I think working dogs makes them much more proficient in relationships in general because they have to learn to accept the dogs being dogs, and when they do things that aren't right, they have to learn to accept defeat graciously and to accept winning graciously. And plus, they build relationships with their dog friends.
That'll last forever.
We do. We have a group of kids who have been on our dog bowl knowledge team in 4-H, and they're just the best of friends because they've been through so many things.
My sister, my wife's, I call her sister, but it's actually her niece. Her son came with me to a show. He didn't want to go to start out with, okay? So he gets to the show, in the first 15 minutes, I said to him, you need to find 5 kids and know their first names. No, I'm not going to. Okay? You don't get to go home unless you do it. So he goes out and he finds 3 kids. Then it was 4 kids. Then it was 5 kids. Then
now there's a pack.
Now they're all running around in the snow, having a good time. Oh, I'll be back, Coop. I'll be back. I'm like, so guess what? He's like, Coop, when can I go to the next show? When can I go to this one? When can I go to that one? Why? Because the camaraderie.
It is the camaraderie.
It's not electronic. You get to hear a voice.
Yep.
You get to throw a snowball at a kid. You get to have that
Mhm.
interaction that you don't see much.
And I've been able to watch kids, particularly through the 4-H program, the dog program, because I see so many kids there.
Yeah.
You know, when I judge at State Dog, it's not uncommon for me to have
Are you
100.
judging this year?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Wayne called me up, and I just got booked for another show, and I'm like, oh, Wayne, you should have called 5 days earlier. 5 days.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited, but it's not unusual to have, 100 some dogs come through your ring in the course of those 2 days, and you see all these kids. But what I love watching is the kids comfort each other when their dogs don't do well or they don't do well.
Or
and
take
then
them
laugh
aside and
about
start
it.
showing them
Yeah.
the mistakes that they made, and this is how to overcome them.
Right. Or sitting there and cheering their friends
Yes, I love that so.
when
Like here, when people win, it's a
Mhm.
different ballgame because people are actually joyful for other people winning.
They are, and I love that, and that's what I love about dog shows. And I just like to surround myself with those kind of people.
It's kind of positive,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
and I think when you retire too, you need to have your life, and your life shouldn't be any less fulfilling or active than when you were working full time in that.
And I've also noticed a lot of this is I have a lot of dog show people who have retired and started doing shows at the end of their retirement, and they're healthier running dog shows than they were when they were working.
Yeah.
Because now they're out biking their dog. Now they're out going to dog class twice a week. Now they're out, on the phone planning their next event that they're going to go to. They're booking their hotel, and they're going to the destinations where they're going to go see Mount Rushmore, which they've never seen because there's going to be a show out there in the location.
Right.
And they're going to hike the hills and stuff like that. So I've seen a lot of that. I love that conversation.
Yes, I think it's I do. I think retirement and dogs just go hand in hand.
Yeah. I can't wait till I retire. I don't think I'll go to a single dog show after I retire.
You don't?
I don't.
No.
I'm at a dog show every weekend, and I have been for the last 40 years. So I think I'm going to take my thinking process of my retirement is I'm going to start guiding a bunch of old guys fishing.
Oh,
because I know how to fish. I just want to have reason.
You want to have reason to fish. That makes perfect sense to me. I do try to do things other than dog stuff. I'm really
like what?
Well, this year I traveled for about 2.5 weeks to Scotland and Ireland.
Really? Tell me about that. That sounds, because I've always wanted to go to Ireland.
Oh, I've been to Ireland twice. This was my second time to Ireland, but I'd never been to Scotland. I have a really good friend who likes to travel, and we travel together. And we have.
What did you see?
Everything.
Did you ever see any of the castles?
Yes, we saw many, many castles. We actually stayed in not castles, but like old manor homes and stuff. And that was kind of the places we stayed with the tour. We went with a tour group because we'd never been there. We wanted to take that. And I loved the Highlands and there. And of course, what did I send home? Awesome. Pictures of dogs I saw, which is absolutely silly. I was taking pictures anytime I saw Springer Spaniels over there. And had to post those and send those out.
So I had the fortunate opportunity to live in Italy. Okay. And on my 14 days off, a buddy of mine, Clevenger, and I, we traveled a lot. And I never got to go to Ireland. But we traveled everywhere. We could hop on a plane and go wherever we wanted to go. We just had to hop it. No, I never got to go to Ireland.
Oh, you should go to Ireland. Ireland is great. Scotland, but I have to admit, the scenery in Scotland took Ireland.
Really?
I thought so. But I loved the people in Ireland. They were so much fun. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And so I like to do stuff like that. And I also go camping. My one daughter has 5 kids.
Okay.
And she and I go together in a 30-foot RV. And last summer we traveled all the way out to Oregon and back.
So where'd you go out to Oregon and see?
My grandson graduated from high school, one of my older daughter's boy.
Oh, very cool.
So we traveled out for that, all of us. And yeah.
That sounds like an awesome opportunity.
It was a great opportunity. It's a great opportunity to make memories with the kids and have just a ton of fun.
I think about the European vacation. So you didn't have any grandmas sitting on top of the roof or anything like that?
No. We did have a few quirky things. We had the fuel pump go out on the generator that we needed for the air conditioning. But my daughter is truly her father's daughter. He shipped a fuel pump and what else? And a fuel filter out to my other daughter's house. So it was there when we got out to Oregon. She got on YouTube, Googled it, and she
put it on herself.
We went ahead to pick up a few tools and she put it on herself.
Very good.
She is
Thank you so
her
much
father's
for the
daughter.
interview. That was greatly appreciated.
Great.
There you go.
Okay.